Hello and welcome to week 7 in our The Blackbird Oracle read along. I hope you've been enjoying it so far, and these little videos are there to just kind of get you set off on the chapters for the week. This week I'm going to look at my notes. It's 19 and 20. I know what it covers. It covers Diana's adventures into finding more about her mother, and specifically her mother's abilities with higher magic, which are captured in her mother's Book of Shadows. There's actually a Spotify playlist on my profile that says Rebecca Bishop's Book of Shadows. You will find it is 100% Fleetwood Mac, because Fleetwood Mac and Rebecca Bishop go hand in hand like chocolate and peanut butter, or I don't know, spaghetti and meatballs, right? Fleetwood Mac and music in general was really influential to Rebecca Bishop. It's very influential to me, which is why there's a whole Fleetwood Mac list on Spotify for you to listen to. I'm a huge fan of Fleetwood Mac. Rumors was actually the first album I ever bought with my own money. I adored them. I adore Stevie Nicks, our queen. Let's face it, you know, she's the person who brought witches into the mainstream in amazing ways. I bought this from some kind of estate sale. It's it's from one of the really early tours. I think it's from the Rumors tour. And it's got a plastic tag that you could have put on like a ribbon, and it says unlimited access. And then it's in this weird red box. This is fire extinguisher in case of fire break glass. If anybody has one of these and you can tell me what it is, that would be great. I bought it at a little auction. I've also got some of little bits and pieces of Diorissimo. These actually belonged to one of the members of our family, our Allsouls family. These belong to Katrina DeSimone, and her mom and dad kindly gave them to me. They were in Katrina's treasure box. She sadly passed away from cancer at a very young age. She was also a Mount Holyoke graduate. And they found these in amongst her things, and they wanted me to have it. I didn't know that Katrina liked Diorissimo or had some, but I've got it here on my little Rebecca Bishop shelf, along with, of course, the PhD velvet hood. So, Rebecca's magic, very influenced by the music that she's hearing. And as you know, magic, when it comes to spells, have to be put to words. We know that that's how the knots kind of get handed over, in a sense, to other practitioners of magic, to other witches, and they say the words of the spell, and it activates these sort of knots that a weaver has put into place. In the case of Rebecca, Diana discovers the missing link between her mother's love of Fleetwood Mac and her mother's magic in these chapters. Gramarye, which is what I call the words that are actually accompanying a piece of not magic. Gramarye isn't related to the word grammar. It's an old English word. I happen to really love it. And my team said to me, okay, what would be your Gramarye? What would you use for Gramarye? I would use tons of music. Check any of my Spotify playlists. You can see it all. But I also love poetry. I love the poetry my 9th great grandmother, Anne Bradstreet, wrote. I love the poems of Emily Dickinson, a distant cousin of mine. I also like more modern poems. This is Field Study by Shayla Sabri. And this is Flower, Crowns, and Fearsome Things by the fabulous Amanda Lovelace. If you're looking for modern poetry, these are two of my absolute favorites. And you might think to yourself, well, what do you mean? What do you mean you would use Anne Bradstreet for Gramarye? Well, I think of it as it's some poems or song lyrics are these things that are easy to remember. They're kind of a sing-song rhythm in your mind, and they're things that you can cut and snip to fit a specific purpose. So you'll see lots of examples of that, but I'll just give you one that you might see in a future book for example. This is my ninth great grandmother, Anne Bradstreet's poem in honor of that high and mighty princess, Queen Elizabeth of happy memory. I guess my love for Elizabeth I is also in my DNA. Here lies the pride of queens, pattern of kings, so blaze it fame, here's feathers for thy wings. Here lies the envied yet unparalleled prince, whose living virtues speak, though dead long since. If many worlds as that fantastic framed, in every one be her great glory famed. Now I can imagine snipping and selecting and tweaking and rearranging bits of that and using it in, I don't know, maybe a spell that somehow revealed something to you about Queen Elizabeth I, Matthew and Elizabeth. Stay tuned. This will pop up somewhere and you'll be reminded of this little piece about what would my grammary be. The short answer is basically the same as Rebecca's and Diana's. A mix of poetry and music. And my love for Emily Dickinson, that's why Diana uses it for her grammary. So I'll see you next time. Enjoy your reading, catch up on any videos you've met, and I'll see you soon.